being strong, being healthy, being natural, being smart and intelligent and free are the new punk, because these are the things that system doesn't want you to be. And you should remember that you are the only one who can decide to be a factor of evolution. So your choice, your freedom, your will are what matters the most to fulfill your mission and your goal on Earth. And if this resonates with you, please subscribe to my channel for tips and encouragement on such lifestyle. And today, in the framework of one of the huge aspects of such lifestyle, which is nutrition, because what we put in our body forms ourselves, forms the way we think. I decided to squeeze two topics in this video. And first one is I will give you a review of Samson's silent dehydrator. And in the second part of this video, we will cook some amazing pancakes which fully conform to the raw diet protocol. And these pancakes will help you to either nurture yourself with the most nutritious components on Earth, and as well to perhaps tease your loved ones who are resistant to trying raw diet or very skeptical, because these are completely irresistible pancakes. So let's get us started. And first, I will talk about the dehydrators. In general, dehydrator, if you are new to the raw diet, dehydrator is not an essential appliance for you to be successful on a raw diet plan, raw plant-based diet. However, this is a commodity that will greatly elevate your experience, especially if you are into fancy cooking, if making food is more than just a utilitarian thing for you, if this is your art, if this is what tickles your fancy. So dehydrator would be a really amazing choice for you. And while on the market there are models that range from somewhere $40 up to infinity, this model, Samson Silent Dehydrator, that costs around $160, is one of the best choices, especially if you live in a smaller apartment and you cannot place your dehydrator somewhere in the garage where the noise won't be annoying you on a daily basis, and this will be no louder than your air conditioning or heater if you live in a colder climate like I do. So let's get us started with the review. This is my second model of this Samson Silent Dehydrator, and my first one didn't break. I was moving, and you see it's a pretty bulky one, so it's deep here. It just didn't fit into the car, so that's why I gave it away. Now it's in good hands, and the people who are using it are pretty happy with it. And this dehydrator features 9 trays. And of course it goes with those trays. When you open the box, that's what you receive. The trays consist of fully complete sheet, which I usually use to collect the crumbs, because I tried actually dehydrating food on them. I tried dehydrating tomatoes, and tomatoes stain this sheet permanently, so I'm assuming that it's a pretty porous thing. Then there are metal mesh sheets, which are good for coarse things, such as fruits and mushrooms, if you dehydrate mushrooms, something like that. And then you will also find these plastic sheets, which are very convenient if you're dehydrating smaller objects, making spices or something out of herbs. And here I will show you I dehydrated some shiitake mushrooms overnight. These will be my salad toppers, because mushrooms, you can really get medicinal properties of shiitake, which help to fight viruses, especially resistant viruses such as papillomavirus, and as well they help body to cleanse from dysfunctional cells. So if you really want to get the medicinal properties of mushrooms, you really need to opt for eating them raw or processed at temperatures no higher than 38 degrees Celsius. And additionally, I purchased fully opaque flexible sheets, made of silicone from Bright Kitchen. I get them from Amazon. Typically, you will find in appliances for dehydrators, if you go to Amazon, for example, and you try to shop for dehydrator sheets, you will see Teflex ones, which are made of Teflon. And while Teflon is not leaching at sufficiently low temperatures, I still prefer using inert materials for my things, and I try to minimize the contact between my food and plastics as well. So, in terms of the noise floor, I will turn the dehydrator on and you will be able to appreciate how quiet it is. So, let's get it started. It doesn't have a continuous dial on top, so it has discrete temperatures ranging from 98 Fahrenheit up to 158, and a timer. So just press on. The door is open, so you will hear the noise now. And first thing you want to do, if you are on raw plant-based diet, you want to set your temperature no higher than 118 Fahrenheit. However, this model, having discrete temperature readings, only allows you to go to 113, and the next reading is 122 Fahrenheit. So I dehydrate my food at 113 Fahrenheit. So we go to temperature mode and drop it down. So here we are ready to dehydrate our stuff. This is the noise floor with the open door. You can see the fan down there. When we close the door, it will get much quieter. So this is the noise that it produces with a casual use, and pretty much non-distinguishable from some working AC in your apartment. So when you get this dehydrator, the things to be mindful of is to let the parts off gas. So read the instruction. In the instruction it says to wipe the insides of the dehydrator and wash all the parts that come with it, all the metal and plastic trays, and run the dehydrator for several hours at the maximum temperature to let things off gas, and then wipe the insides again, and you can use it with your foods from that moment onward. So I will turn it off for now because my mushrooms are already prepared, and we will turn it back on when we cook our pancakes. So let's move on with the second part of our video, and we'll start making our beautiful and tasty pancakes, for which we will need a large banana. This will make 3 large pancakes, so you can share one with someone, and grab other two and indulge in them on your own. Actually, when you share this with someone, grab the rest and run, because they will ask for more. We will need hemp seeds. I buy organic from Manitoba Harvest. Then we will need almonds instead of almond flour, because I'm trying to move away from using flours, all these things that were broken down, and actually even nut butters are becoming my guilty pleasure, because when nut butters are made, oils that are containing in them, during this whipping process they oxidize, and they actually become inflammatory. So I'm trying to minimize the intake of those and any crushed seeds in my diet. So we will use hemp seeds. I will also add some cacao powder from Navitas. It's raw cacao powder, and it is all organic. Then we will add some cacao nibs for crunch. Then I will add some almond butter and vanilla extract. Vanilla extract, of course, is preferred when it doesn't contain any alcohol, because alcohol is it's horrible toxin that penetrates through all membranes in our body, and of course it would be desirable to avoid it, but in dehydrator it will just evaporate, so it doesn't really matter here. Optionally, and very preferably, you would also use flax seeds, but this batch of pancakes I will actually share with someone who cannot handle flax seeds. So I will make this batch solely with the hemp seeds. So let's get us started. First, I will mash the banana, and you don't need any blender or anything for this food. If you, of course, prefer to avoid any manual labor, you can do this in the blender. But I like crunchy things, I like wholesome things, so my preference is to make things by hand, to have some pieces, chunks, and I will just mash the banana here. Does it sound like ASMR right now? I bet it does. Just with fork, nothing fancy. Everybody has it. You don't need a blender. Of course, actually, while I'm doing this, I will be just talking to you. Speaking of other appliances that might be useful on raw diet is, of course, blender. Here you can see my Ninja blender that has blades along the axis. It's not a Vitamix. It's a different concept altogether. And it's actually pretty effective in making smoothies, especially large batches of smoothies, and when you have frozen berries that are harder to crush. And I like this blender a lot. However, I don't, like in the beginning of my raw diet, which is almost 1 year ago, I used to drink a lot of smoothies, but now I much rather prefer to chew on my salads. I prefer non-sweet leaves, and the habits really change. And just give it some time, and in several months you will find yourself having absolutely different habits from what you had in the beginning. So here's what we have here, just mashed banana. And in this mashed banana, while we're dealing with homogeneous, soft textures, we will add some almond butter. Just this much, 1 spoon. Imagine how it sounds. It sounds really cool. It even tickles me now. So now we'll add a drop of vanilla extract, not big drop probably, and cacao powder. All ingredients. You see, I'm not giving you exact measures for anything because it's really up to you. So I'm just pouring some cacao powder. I don't want these pancakes to be too bitter because I like to top them with raw tahini. Which is not spiced tahini, it's just sesame seed paste. And then we'll add some cacao nibs here. And now we will add a handful. Generously, we will add some hemp seeds in here because they give substance to these pancakes, and banana kind of glues it all together. And now we will need to crush almonds. I will just grab a handful of almonds and you can see here how much I added, and we will just chop them now. In general, when you are going on some extravagant diet, when you realize that your health really needs some corrections, and trust me, and probably if you do your research, you will find myriads of people who help themselves by just changing the way they eat, by moving closer to nature, by stripping off all refined foods, by going to whole food, plant-based, raw, minimally processed diets. It really seriously works. You will find that to be almost a miraculous solution for many problems. However, I understand it might be hard at first, to go onto such diet. And these recipes, again, these beautiful appliances, knowing how to prepare tasty foods to get yourself tricked, to get yourself engaged in this routine, in this lifestyle, is very important. That's why it's especially important for you to learn and specifically try and practice beautiful and tasty recipes that are indulgent, that are not like a punishment. Because I will show you now, after we mix these all ingredients in homogeneous mass, I will show you the salad bowl that I bought. Because the amount of greens that I was able to eat after about 3 weeks of raw diet, where I was gradually increasing my intake of super harsh, rough fiber, it just increased so rapidly. And of course, you can really help your body by introducing probiotics, by introducing fermented foods such as sauerkraut, such as coconut kefir, such as even pills of acidophilus. Let me know if I'm putting the accent in the wrong spot. You can really help your body with that. It's really not a problem. It's just a matter of couple of weeks for you to learn to be able to digest those foods successfully. So we're mixing this mass now. Here's how it looks. And now we will just grab the dehydrator sheet and we'll start assembling the pancakes on it. This, again, I said, makes about 3 pancakes, and let's just put them on the sheet. The dehydration will take either overnight if you're cooking them for breakfast. Ideally would be, of course, if you were able to flip them midway through, because they will get hard on top. But since we don't have any airflow from below, they will remain pretty moist down there. However, you can just, even if you wake up in the morning, before you take your glass of water, you can grab those pancakes, flip them, and while you're doing your morning routine before breakfast, just let them dehydrate more. In terms of, you saw that I have mushrooms that I marinated actually in not soy sauce, it's tamari sauce, which doesn't contain gluten. I marinated them in spices and soy sauce. So you might be thinking, how do these flavors intermix there? They don't. So if you arrange the foods properly, by placing the most odor releasing foods on very top, so close to the convection outlet, and the foods that have very mellow flavor, you will get no intermixing of, you will not get the sticking of these aggressive scents onto delicately flavored foods. So here they are, 3 pancakes. This is the thickness, so it's about 1/2 inch or 1/3 of an inch, and we just stick them into the dehydrator now. Close the door. And that's it. Temperature is 113 degrees, and they will be cooked probably by tonight. So I'm making dinner right now. It's what, 11 a.m. right now where I am. So as simple as it gets. The only, again, drawback when you're going on such style of diet is that you really need to make your planning. You will get accustomed to this eventually. Plus, in raw diet, you always have something to eat, even if you didn't have time to cook something in the dehydrator. There's always a bunch of greens. There's always a bunch of beautiful foods, nuts, seeds. You won't get hungry. But again, if you have some specific foods that you want to include, for example, hemp seeds is pretty challenging to eat. Even in smoothies, for example, they are not on my taste palette. I don't like them with sour fruits like berries, all that stuff. I don't like mixing sour fruit with nutty, earthy flavors. However, with bananas, they work perfectly. And for me, it was challenging to include hemp seeds in the diet. However, with this recipe, it becomes really easy. Plus, again, it preserves the wholesomeness of the seeds, of the nuts, except for that spoon of nut butter. And I will put a picture in the end of this video of how I garnished this dish, these pancakes, and for that I used this type of tahini, which is raw tahini from Artisana. You can get it in Whole Foods, and pine nuts. Aurora Natural in general, if you have access to Whole Foods, they are an amazing company that makes the best dates and the best hazelnuts. So if you like hazelnuts, it's very challenging sometimes to find them that they don't taste burnt, sour, with all those weird flavors. This Aurora, right? Yeah. Aurora Natural is the best brand. So check them out at Whole Foods. The only drawback, of course, is that they put their nuts in plastic dishes. So it's not eco-friendly, especially if you consume a lot of nuts and seeds. But you can probably find some ways around that. Maybe I will try to contact the website and maybe request some bulk supply of nuts from them, something like that. So let's finalize our video. I would like to thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm really excited to share more content, more insights about the raw, natural lifestyle and other aspects that are super important for shaping your character that you might use for your own upbringing or for raising your children, which I find imperative when we talk about our human mission on Earth. And hereby, I would be really happy if you support my channel with comments, sharing with friends, and yeah, have a great day, and thank you for watching. Bye.